Well, the season is about to begin for our minor league teams. Of course, the new format, we have the Division 1 and Division 2 for each league is going to be a very novel new format for us, and it is going to lead to a lot of exciting matches. The first of which here. Hello everyone, I am Metafiction and I am joined today by Max.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm super excited. This new division format is going to be really interesting to see who gets relegated, who has to fight in the relegation playoffs, and who wins Div 1. Where, give props for Div 2 and their competitiveness, but everyone wants that coveted Div 1 trophy. It has number 1 by it. Clearly, it means the best, right? Unless you pay attention to that one rhyme. You know what I'm talking about? First is the worst, second is the best.
Well, I don't think these teams will be too keen on that particular line. I think they're all looking to top the table, but it is worth noting that even if they aren't in contention, they still have a lot to play for, as pursuant to the Division 1 Division 2 split in each league, the bottom end of the table is going to face relegation for the first time in quite a large number of seasons. Num- Sixth team last in the first division, automatically relegated. The second to last team, the team in fifth place, will face a playoff at the end of the season with the team in the second division that finishes second. So even if you fall away from the title pack, still a lot to play for. Try and stay up.
Most definitely. And I mean, here we have basically what amounts to El Clasico for the minors. Capstad versus Paris, a tale as old as time. Getting us started off. Kovacs on the ball. Tampere the fourth. Taking it into the middle. Finds Suzuki. Fensterhausen. It's always tough to learn these new players' names, but I'll get there. Luis Jr. on the ball. Finds Sour Wine. Back to McFoot Cakes. Taking it inside. Has a little run. Kovacs on the left. Trying to find someone in the middle. Gets taken down by Hunt. All right, you think that's a penalty?
Well, it looked like it might have been a little bit on the line. I thought the player got a foot to the ball, but with these that's why we have VAR, basically, is to try and make 100% sure, even if it can be frustrating at times. As that time, it isn't a penalty; it was a clean challenge. So
Looked like old ball to me. Some players make the most of it. Couldn't make the most of it there. Tyrannus on the ball now on the right, trying to get past Peixoto. Peixoto, who... Wait, am I thinking of a different Peixoto? The one on USP?
there's a Peixoto and a Peixoto, I believe. It's very confusing. You're not the only one.
Oh, this is Peixoto. Oh wow. Oh wow. All right, top 10, best journalistic moments right there. This guy does his research.
I mean, they're very similar names. You'd be forgiven.
Yeah, because I was like, did the USP star just decide oh, I've had enough of the majors, it's time to drop to Div 1?
Well, considering they're playing for Capstad, that would be a huge story if it were the case, because AS
True.
Paris are their minors affiliate, as Ashworth might have just opened the scoring here.
I mean, it was a fantastic header if this counts. And it looks like it's going to. 1-0 Capstad within 20 minutes.
Well, it's the pass from Fensterhausen that's intercepted here by Peixoto, who we were just talking about. Funny how that works. The great cross into Ashworth. Just a brilliant job of finishing there. And we'll see here on the replay, indeed onside by a couple of feet. Just a well-struck move by Capstad.
I'm kind of surprised Ashford hasn't made the jump to first, to the first team. But I mean, they do have Pete Martell. It's hard not to. But here we go, close on the ball to Adu, Freddie Adu, close on the ground right now. Peixoto, Hunt is able to get past Kovacs. Hunt with the second, a fantastic finish with close on the floor, but it does not matter.
And I've got to say, I want to see this replay because that was a beautiful touch by Hunt here. Watch Hunt there toward the center of the screen. Adu carrying it down Peixoto, and Hunt just taking it past Kovacs. Completely Kovacs out of the play, and that's a great finish. So some silky smooth movement from Kapstad to double their advantage.
I mean, that was ridiculous. I mean, he completely took Kovacs out of the play, but here's Kovacs, sour one, trying to find Tyrannus. Tyrannus heads it down. Suzuki gets blocked and is cleared away by Kapstad. Trying to find a quick response to going 2 goals down. It's not over till it's over. Luis Jr. on the ball. Finds McFootcakes. McFootcakes trying to find a forward pass, but decides to play it safe. Back to Luis Jr. Trying to find Suzuki. Finds Tyrannus. Tyrannus to Berenson. Berenson, who has space, finds Tyrannus. Tyrannus is going to cut inside. Has a shot, and it's off the outside edge of the post, and it's a goal kick for Kapstad.
That was the first real danger moment we've seen from Paris, but Kapstad at the other end with the corner kick. Well, that's going to be headed back out.
Jang with the shot. Hunt with another one, but it's just over.
Well, it's like you were saying at the top of the broadcast, these two teams are expected to be what's in the title hunt again this season. It was a fierce battle last time out, and this opening match has already lived up to the billing.
I mean, I think it's been between these two teams for the last 4 seasons. You had Montreal in the mix, I think, 3 seasons ago. North Shore United also in the mix. I think North Shore United did win, I think, season 18, right?
I believe that is the case. North Shore, if memory serves, might actually be down in Division 2, though. So that'll be a very interesting challenge for them to get back up into Division 1 after last season.
I mean, if you look just straight up on player ability, like, they have the chance. But here's Freddie Adu, cuts inside, and there it is. Freddie Adu with Kapstad's third. A fantastic cut inside and a fantastic finish in the far post.
Well, that move developed very quickly. Hunt gets it started from deep, and Adu making that run. McFootcakes just not fast enough to keep up, and Adu with that great left-footed finish. Kapstad came to play today.
You know what they say, XG does not matter, and even though Kapstad have had less XG, it's only the goals that count, and I think it's close to clears it off the line, if I'm not mistaken.
Paris are going to need to find something, ideally from this set piece, but it's going to go over. But they need to find something, ideally before the end of this half, if they're going to have any hope of coming back into the game, in my opinion.
I mean, they've looked dangerous so far. It's going to be surprising if they don't at least get one back. But Terrain is taken down by Close. Close already on an injury. Needs a bit of a hamper. Freddie Adu trying to find their second. Freddie Adu towards the byline. Tries to put it into the middle. Finds Peyoshoto. Peyoshoto to Wolf. Wolf with the shot. And it's just off the crossbar. Jang unable to capitalize on that situation. Was offsides.
I just hate to see those incredible shots just clanging off the frame of the goal. It's so close for being something special, and then it just that loud dang, and it's just nothing. It's got to be the worst feeling.
I feel like we see those too often too. You just think it's going to be an absolute banger, and it's just the worst noise of all time. It's a quiet end to the half, and there it is. Kapstad 3, Paris 0. Thoughts?
Well, Kapstad coming out of the trap swinging and frankly deservedly up 3-0. I mean, Paris do have the advantage in XG, but as you pointed out, some real good chances for Kapstad as well. The 3 goals they scored, all very strong on XG, and honestly, it's just a matter of clinical finishing here, I think. Kapstad, really making the most of their chances as opposed to Paris just being a little bit wasteful. They're going to have to dial it in the second half, but that's a real tough deficit to climb out of.
I mean, it means just like even more now, given the fact that there's only 10 games in this season. Especially for a title race, Kapstad are making a real strong case for why they're going to come out on top by the end of this season. And I mean, I really did expect better from Paris this first half. I mean, they've had some great chances, but they're known to be clinical. Maybe it's just Belmont being a little bit rusty. Who knows?
You made an excellent point in that there are so few points on offer this season compared to seasons past, and that's doubly important because Capstad, this is probably their stiffest competition with respect to the rest of the teams in Division 1. AS Paris are the team that you have circled on your calendar. This is the team that you mark out as your main title rival at the start of the season, and for them to be winning this handily, that's got to be a huge boost to them.
Definitely. And I think that they made, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it really did feel like a lot of those goals came from the right side. Peixoto now on the corner, but, it seems like they know how to make good use of exploiting that pace that they have on the right. Adu with the shot, and Cancel is able to make a nice save.
You made a very good point again, as that's going to be a bit of a damper on their ambitions, though. Gerd Klose forced off for injury. You hate to see injuries affect a match, but that might be the way back in. Paris need, and there you go, a free kick, as if to prove that.
That's ridiculous. Top bins. Jones has no chance off the post, too. That's a ridiculous goal.
Sometimes you just need that one moment of quality. That might be what Paris need to get back in this match. Time's against them, but they have the quality to come back here.
Miracles can happen. McFoot cakes, and there it is, the second Greedy McFoot cakes off of a very, very nice bounce. And Paris are just one goal away from equalizing. Can we see a 3-goal, maybe even 4-goal turn of the tide?
Well, we certainly can. The question is, will we? But that's a great movement there by Paris. McFoot cakes, the shot does take a wicked deflection, but you got to put the ball in the right place to get it into the net. And sometimes that place is on the chest of another player. And Belmont
with the shot.
Nearly leveling it with one stroke.
I mean, you're expecting to see him make some kind of impact in this game, almost finding the equalizer, but Jones just in the right place at the right time. And Cancella is able to make a nice save, but Belmont is able to collect off of that rebound before any Capstad player is able to. McFoot getting pressed by Brooks. It's a poor clearance, and Paris are just barely able to find their way out of it. And just to talk about Gerd Klose's injury, it's for any other team in this league, it'd be a huge setback. But they bring on Fanto Benz, who had just won the WSFC, and is that a penalty? It doesn't look like it to me.
Well, the ref certainly seems to think so. They're going over to check in VAR.
I don't know. Going to the monitor is never a good sign. I see very few of those called.
We did just see one called in the academy, so it's not impossible.
True.
But
it is not impossible. I was watching that academy game. I was like, wow. This is the first time I think I've ever seen them call it off of the monitor. But here it's no different. The referee's like, I made a mistake. It's time to correct it.
And with 10 minutes left to go, that you have to think Paris were hoping that the VAR would side with the referee. That would have been a beautiful chance for them to level it, but now they've got to get it the hard way.
McFoot cakes trying to find that way through. Fensterhausen taking down Fanto Benz. Peixoto finally clears, but it's only out to Luis Jr. Fensterhausen to Barrettson. Barrettson finds Tyrannus. Tyrannus with his pace, with the shot, and Jones is able to make a diving save. Sarawan on the corner. Paris really wants to find that equalizer. It's headed away by Obranca. Capstad's brought down a couple of Hollywood players, right?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I'm still a little fried trying to get my brain around the new format. But
I confused Peixoto and Peixoto earlier. It's a tough season for all commentators. Hunt, Capstad, trying to play it out. Belmont has it away, and there it is. The final whistle. Capstad hold on after going 3-0 up in the first half. Paris trying to make a comeback. 2 goals in 8 minutes, but unable to find the third. And there it is. Capstad 3, Paris 2.
Payashoda, your player of the match with 2 assists, much deserved. Capstad jumping out to that huge lead in the first half, went into halftime thinking this one was sewn up. Paris, credit to them, they fought back, brought it within a goal, and were one VAR decision away from tying this up. Ultimately did fall short, but I think they can take some positives from that match, though I think they would have preferred the points.
You know, you always prefer the points, but at least there's some positives, to take into training. I was maybe expecting to see just a little bit of a closer game. It was really a tale of two halves, each team having their own half, but Paris just really couldn't match Capstad's. It's for how good the Paris strikers are, I'm surprised they weren't more clinical.
It is certainly a far cry from what we saw last season, with Paris far and away one of the most dangerous teams in the minors. Certainly a little bit more time in this season to turn it around, but not as much as they would have in past seasons. And so they're going to need to find a way to maximize those scoring chances. They've just handed Capstad a huge advantage in the league, so they've got their work cut out for them at this point. But it's still 9 games left to play for them. Anything can happen, especially in this league.
Most definitely. I mean, Capstad can always fall short, and there is a return leg. That's the nicety for Paris to think about. There's always a return leg. Here we go with the second match of the day: Krung Tap versus Masks. Can you say the French part?
I believe it's Masque Sacré or something of that sort.
I wish I learned French.
My best guess.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take it. I don't think I'd be able to say it any better. I see. Yeah. Masks Sacrés. Yeah, sacré. It's like a dry R. I can't really do it.
I've never been able to roll my R's. Like, I just don't think I physically can.
It's a tough skill. I can only do it for like the Spanish words, but like I can't, the dry R is just on another level. I think it's honestly harder than the rolling the R. But here we go. Peter the Apostle trying to start off with Krung Tap. Revest on the ball for Masks. Trying to find Cat. It's headed away by Larv. And Metafiction trying to head it down. Stro to Magul. Magul finds Al-Cosme. Finds Atar. Plays it up to Magul. Finds another pass to Stro. It's a quick chain of passes, but Lamb is able to take the ball off of Stro very easily. Black man to Lamb. Finds a Metafiction. Finds Walker. Apostle is able to cut it out. McNuggy. Down the right, trying to find Stro. And Revest is able to make a nice save.
Well, that could have been a huge moment early on in this match. Ultimately, just unable to get that finish in, but still a really strong opening salvo there. It's only a matter of time before one of those finds the net at this rate.
Lamb to McNeil. Finds Grimace, and Grimace is just off the crossbar. Masks always trying to find a kind of quick response to that chance that Krung Tap had, but it's off the crossbar. Another big dang. Oliver trying to find Machado. It's headed away by McNeil. Stro cuts, and it's just a curling ball, but can't find its way inside of the net.
That one had a real bend to it, but just, as you said, just not enough on it. Still, that's a very difficult shot for anybody to hit.
Most definitely. Machado trying to find McNuggy, but is unable to. Revest cuts that one out. I mean, it was really curling. I don't think I've seen a ball curling like that in a minute. But here's Mash trying to start off a counter. Wentworth's there first. Peter the Apostle trying to take it up the pitch. Finds McNuggy. McNuggy taken down. Toadstool just gets a foot in there, and it's back to Revest. Masks able to recycle. Black man to Walker. Back to Toadstool. Finds a Minotaur. Minotaur getting pressed by McNuggy. McNuggy steals, has a shot, and Rivest is there to make a fantastic save.
There's incredible awareness there from the Krungtep forward, forcing a chance off of the mistake.
Magul trying to find Apostle. Does. Cat's there first, though. It's hard. Gets the ball taken off of him by Walker. It's going to be a foot chase, and we're not going to get to see it. So sad.
That's one of the most deflating things is when they're in the middle of looks like a potential move and then all of a sudden it just cuts away. It is kind of fortunate.
Yeah, you know, it's like the player hits a home run and the cameraman just decides to like point it at a random pigeon. It's upsetting. It's upsetting.
That's a rally pigeon, my friend. I'm not sure what a rally pigeon is. I just thought it sounded funny.
You know, that was funny. I don't know what it is either. I know that sometimes they like, you know, if you ever watch the Mets, they cut to a big apple going up and down, and I always think that's hilarious. But a rally pigeon, I think, would be even better. I gotta make that a thing in soccer or football. Grimace on the left, trying to find Lamb. Does Lamb into a free net? Ferguson lost, and Nico Lamb gets the first for Masks.
Well, it looked like Lamb was shooting into basically an open goal here. Here's the move again. Grimace can't quite get it past Apostle, who closes down well, but it's a great cross into Lamb, and just Ferguson just completely stood still like a statue in the box there, just caught out completely.
You know, it's only they can explain why they did that, but I guess from my perspective, maybe it was Grimace's cross that kind of made them think for a second to walk out, and then they walked out when it was too late, and there was Nico Lamb to put it into the back of the net. But here's Machado. Krungtep trying to find an equalizer. Wentworth to Oliver. Oliver on the right, trying to get past Grimace. Grimace, a big guy, trying to find Stroh. Does, and it's just headed over.
It's not been for lack of trying for Krungtep today. They just haven't quite been able to find their way in.
They say trench warfare or soccer's the game of inches. I'm not too sure.
I think both would be kind of accurate here.
Cat on the ball, and there it is. Scat Cat is able to just fire it in past Ferguson. I think it was a mistake from Mick Gary, unable to clear that ball, and Scat Cat is there to pounce on it. No pun
That
intended.
is long ball soccer done to perfection. I think that's an assist credited to Rivest in goal. A brilliant finish there by Scat Cat as well. And that's 2-0 to Masque Sacré.
Yeah, that was a wild kick by Rivest. Just found the bounce. And here's Walker trying to get a third. Falls to Rossini. Rossini with the shot. It's blocked and cleared away. Larbert's hard trying to run out to get to it, but Rossini's there first. Is the chance still on? Grimace is going to try to take it down the left. Grimace down to the byline, trying to find Lamb, and this time, Ferguson's there.
Well, Masks are... Sorry.
Nah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Masks have really, are determined to make a statement. They were one of the surprise packages last season. They really impressed with a lot of their performances. Deservedly found themselves in that promotion region, in that top 6 for this season, and they are eager to prove that they belong here.
Most definitely. I don't think anyone really expected them to come out swinging like this, but it's not what you expect, it's what you get. And Walker's there to find the third. Masks firing on all cylinders if this one counts. If not, the statement would still be true, but maybe a little bit less true. And it's going to count. Masks 3, Krungtep 0. As I was saying, firing on all cylinders. Doing fantastic. Krungtep and their defense really just can't pick out a ball today. Larvitar loses their man. Walker's able to just slip behind and turd Ferguson. Rookie goalkeeper. Give him some slack. But welcome to the big leagues. Big minor leagues.
And I do want to point out a really nice, really subtle double run there by Scat Cat to draw the attention of McGarry away from where the ball is going to be. Just really strong offensive scheming there by Masks.
Most definitely. I mean, like, Scat Cat and Nico Lamb are going to be quite a duo. It's going to be scary to watch. But here's McNuggy trying to find one for Stroh with the header. And there it is, Matt Stroh is able to get one back for Krung Tap right. We're inching towards half. But just a fantastic header.
Indeed, it's McNuggy who's able to make this goal. Gets enough space from Grimace. And Stroh rising above McNeil, who I don't think knew Stroh was even there. But great header there, and Krung Tap have one back.
What do they say? The best things coming out of nowhere, or is it the worst things?
I thought it was that the best things come in threes, but I might be thinking of something else.
That could be it. We'll go with the worst things come out of nowhere, and that's for sure the case. Machado with the shot, but that was the case definitely for McNeil. Machado was offsides. Blackman to Minotaur. Minotaur to Toadstool. Toadstool is going to go down towards the byline, getting pressed by Stroh. The Minotaur with the shot, and there it is. Luke Walker's able to get off a bunch of bounces. Mine. Yeah, that's a goal, I think. No, it's going to be offsides. There's a foul, supposedly. I don't think I saw it. But there it is, halftime. Masks 3, Krung Tap 1. What did you see on that last play?
Well, honestly, it was kind of hard to make out. There was a lot of chaos, a bit of a bobble in the box there right at the end, right before the ball went in. I think there might have been an errant shove or a handball or something, but as you say, it ends up not going in. And I think Krung Tep can kind of breathe a sigh of relief. They just scored 1 minutes before halftime. If they'd conceded one with the last kick before the whistle, that might have just completely undone any mental boost they might have gotten from that goal. So I'll be very grateful that that was offside, or disallowed at least.
Most definitely. I really can't tell you what happened there, but Oliver coming in with a crazy tackle. Luckily not to get any Rossini there. So, perfect tackle. Wentworth to McGarry. Finds Wentworth. JG, 877 cash now. McGarry, back to Wentworth. Peter the Apostle, taking it up. His Holiness. Lamb is able to get there first. Machado to McGool, to Stroh. Stroh trying to find a second, and it's just over.
Some really good passing in the early stages here of the second half by Krung Tap. Going to be hungry and overturn that 2-goal deficit that's left. They'll be thinking that they can do it, but Masks have been really impressive so far.
I mean, they definitely really surprised me just as an expansion team. Like, I remember Magyar and Krung Tap both really struggling that first season, and you just look at Masks, and they were firing on quite literally all cylinders. I guess Shalaku was taking a little bit of a hit, but here's McNuggy trying to find a second for Krung Tap, but unable to do so. Reves able to make a save. On the corner, trying to find. Oh, Blackman is able to clear, and that chance to come to an end.
To your point a moment ago, it's always fascinating to see the first couple of seasons after an organization is added through expansion, see what their strategies are, how they construct their rosters, their tactics, that sort of thing. And I think I've been fairly impressed from both of our most recent additions, Jalahu and Masks, and of course Celtic and Rova. Rova will of course see in action in a little bit, but they've both been quite impressive, I would say.
Most definitely. I mean, they finished third and fifth respectively or something like that last season. I'm not particularly sure, but let's see if Rossini can get a fourth. Unable to. Yeah, it's just honestly really surprising. I think that even our season 20 expansion team, CDT, Krung Tep's major side, able to get the first trophy of their entire history is huge. But also in big news, JG Wentworth has to come off with an injury.
It's his money, and he needs it now because those medical bills aren't cheap.
You think he's gonna like file a claim potentially?
Could be. Who knows?
Could be.
If he
Who
gets it in
knows?
an annuity, he might have to.
You never know. You never know. But if there's anyone that has, oh, and that's off the post by Al Cosme. But if anyone has the money, especially right now in this instant, let me make sure it's like in this moment right now. It's JG Wentworth, right?
I would assume so, and I hope so for his sake. We do have some excellent health care here in the SSL, but can't imagine
You
his
know,
insurance company would be too happy.
definitely. I know that for commentators they have great insurance. I'm not 100% sure for the players. I've heard some get stiffed once or twice, but somehow they always just come back for the next game just completely fine.
I do. I
Goal
do
to Al
wish the.
Cosme. Hmm.
I was gonna say I do wish the commentary, the insurance for us commentators was a little better. I remember when I managed the United States at the not this past WSFC, but the one previous. I got stiffed on medical bills after U.S. Soccer broke my kneecaps. But nevertheless, a strong performance from Masks of Cray, 3-1 the final.
I'm sorry. They did what's your kneecaps?
It's a long story. They didn't like the fact that I didn't score a point. Nevertheless, that's in the past, and thankfully, U.S. in much better hands now.
Much better hands is a little, a matter of perspective, but I can't say
They
anything
won
better
a
for South
game, Max.
America.
They won a game, Max. That's what counts.
True. 3 points is 3 points. Maybe next time
Exactly.
they can get six. We'll see. Uh, make it out of the group for the first time. Uh, we'll see. We'll see. But I, I hope your
I think
kneecaps
I
are feeling
broke them.
better.
I'm sorry.
No, I want to say at the end of the day, like I hope your kneecaps are doing better.
Oh, they're
I
fine
didn't know
now.
that
It's just
you know, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that.
anyway. Jokes aside, a strong performance from Masquerade, in my opinion. They'll be. I think they could be dark horse contenders for the title, especially now that AS Paris have taken a bit of a setback from Capstad.
I think most definitely they looked really strong against Krunk Tep. It's really going to come down to each individual games. I think with the 22 game format, or sorry, yeah, it was 22 games last season. Yep. There's a lot more room for error, right? But every single game now really does matter. It's going to be interesting to see where every single team lands up, and I think Masks are just going to be looking to face these big dogs and show what they're really all about. But in other words, Montreal United, a team with history, versus Rova, another expansion side, coming up against each other in this Div 1. Miners Div 1, of course.
And we're talking about expansion sides doing well. If memory serves, Rova were in the title conversation for a bit last season. Ultimately did fall off, but I think they've got a very strong case, much like Masks, to really push for potentially a title here.
I think most definitely. And they really do have some really good players. Picked up I Love Ziegel over over the draft. Got some really young players that are really good. Q Junior, Turk. I think it's Oops Wrong Sports Turk, right? And then you got a couple others in there. But here's Joe Hendry. What is it? Clapping he appears?
Say his name in here appears, I think.
Ah,
Unfortunately, he was already here when we said his name, so I don't know how that works.
yeah. I think that the saying still goes, right? Like we said his name, he appeared. He was already there, but he still appeared, I guess.
Fair enough.
Schmidt on the ball, getting pressed by Hendry. Buccaneer with a shot. It's a wild shot and just wide. King
Neither
on the
side
ball,
really.
trying to find Millwall. Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say neither side really finding that advantage, but Montreal taking the initiative here.
You know, against a team like Rova, I think that they just played each other in the friendlies, just barely beating Rova 4-3. It's going to be an interesting matchup between the two, but who knows? Who knows who might come out on top? Q Jr. to Zweig. I think Zweig was also another player that Rova picked up over the draft. Turk, and it's always a great investment on these youngsters. I love Ziegel. Getting pressed by Kronkowski. Grudnar, the big man, trying to find the ball. Fjord. I feel like you can feel his footsteps when he's coming near you, but Q Jr. trying to make it past Monkey Buccaneer. Q Jr. on the right, trying to find someone. Q Buccaneer is able to pass it, but back to Swig. Swig is going to have a shot, and Hunter Jackson is able to make the save.
That could have been a real heart-and-mouth moment there, the mistake, but ultimately does concede a corner, and that's such a close shot that it's going to be over.
Reminds me of the British Isles versus, what was it, East Africa, where, was it Trick Johnson passes it back towards the goalkeeper, but no, it was Benelux, my bad. Passes it back towards the keeper, but Nerve the Group was there to finish it off. A lot of great moments from that WSFC.
Why we love the tournament. It's been such a great addition. And here's Grudnar from a tight angle, does force the corner, but WSFC rapidly becoming appointment viewing this SSL calendar.
Schmidt to Kronkowski, and Kronkowski's offsides. It was really just so much fun to, especially commentate it, and just watch every single game. Just seeing all these great moments was just really nice. But that's going to all happen again next year. Kalinis cutting in and out, able to get past Schmidt. But there's Andrews Jr. trying to take it off the pitch now for Montreal. Montreal trying to find a counter. And Q Jr. is able to get the ball off of Andrews Jr., but only out to Buccaneer. Buccaneer trying to get past Hendry. Buccaneer can't. And Q Jr. is able to get off the rebound. Q Jr. now trying to take it up the pitch. Schumans. Millwall now for Montreal, able to get it off of a little tackle. Grudnar can't find King, and now Schwartz. Rova trying to start another counter. It's counter behind counter. Trying to find Zweig. Trying to find someone. It's punched away by Jackson. Schumans now. Schumans going to cut in. Hendry's going to have a shot. And what a goal by Joseph Mathis Hendry. Just an absolute curler. Ridiculous from Rova to open up the score sheet.
I think you can safely say Rova believe in Joe Hendry, and why wouldn't you with a shot like that? Sherman get it under control. Hendry in just a huge amount of space. That effort had a little bit of dip to get underneath the hand of Jackson, and that's in the net for a really brilliant first goal of the game.
I love Ziegel trying to make it Rova's second. Just a fantastic shot. Maybe that's what he means when he appears. I said his name enough time, but Q Jr. trying to get a shot, and it's just over. You know how you're supposed to say, like, Bloody Mary in the mirror 3 times? It's like that with Joe Hendry. Millwall trying to find an equalizer. Taken down in the box. Bierman's going to have a shot, and it's blocked by Schwartzer. Kronkowski on the corner. Schmidt finds Kronkowski. Kronkowski is going to try to find someone in the middle, but Kronkowski once again today finds himself offsides. And there it is, halftime. I don't know if it's just me, but I just realized how odd Montreal's formation is. They have like an attacking playmaker, a striker, a shadow striker. It's just a really interesting mix of roles, but after 45 minutes, it's Rova 1, Montreal 0.
Well, it looks like both teams still trying to get to grips with this season, but Rova were the first to adapt. As you said, these teams played each other in the friendly, so they're fairly familiar with each other's usual tactics, so might be a little bit of a feeling out, a little bit of an experimentation process, these teams trying to find a leg up on one another. Rova currently do have that advantage, but into the second half, we'll have to see if Montreal can respond.
Auto Rocket coming on for Rova. Montreal not making any substitutions. I think they only have another goalkeeper on the bench, but here's trying to find Kronkowski, unable to. I love Ziegel now. Fjord. It's a really interesting last name. I wonder what the parents were thinking.
It could be Norwegian. Because of the fjords.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, Auto Rocket's also good last name, I don't
Indeed.
know how these last names appear.
Well, it's also possible that some of these players changed their names once they became of legal age to do so. They might have been born something completely different and simply decided to choose their own name.
That's a very fair point. Could also be a stage name, But here's Hendry
That too.
on the left, trying to find someone in the middle, trying to find Rocket, and it just sails over. Yeah, just a whole. I mean, is there any Yeah. Stage name, change the legal name. What would you change your legal name to instead of Metafiction? Of course, that's your legal
Well,
name.
I mean, considering Metafiction is my legal name, honestly, I hadn't thought much about it. That shot over the bar, but I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that because honestly, the mind boggles at the possibilities.
It's a fair point. I do Matthias Xavier because I don't like that guy. He
Mm,
plays for SFV. Just a real whiny guy.
yeah.
Don't like the cut of his jib whatsoever. So I do it just to spite him. Q Jr. now on the corner.
I've heard he's a pretty good commentator, but I don't know.
I don't know. He apparently has these schizophrenic episodes where he's like, "Oh, I might be a commentator, I might not be. I have cameras in my building." I don't know. I saw something published last year about it. I don't know who's publishing his stuff. It's whoever is really losing out on a lot of cash. But Zweig trying to find a shot, gets blocked. But I think it was Andrews Jr. Could be, or maybe Jackson. Not too sure.
Whoever
Hendry.
it was, it's a really good chance here for Rova to double their advantage and effectively kill this game off.
Does Montreal have one more in them? It's been a really quiet second half from both teams. Clock's winding down. Porser. Is there one more in it? To Fjord. Finds Q Jr. Q getting pressed by Buccaneer. Buccaneer finds Schmidt. Schmidt trying to find Kronkowski, and Fjord's there to take it off. I love Ziegel trying to find Q Jr. out wide. Does. Q Jr. is going to come inside. Taking off the ball once again by Buccaneer. Grudnar now. Grudnar trying to take a long touch. Finds Kronkowski. Kronkowski with the shot. And Schwarzer makes a last-minute save to keep the lead intact.
This might be their last chance. Montreal. Kronkowski standing over the corner.
Cleared away by, I think it was Kalinis. Schmidt finds Kronkowski. Kronkowski trying to find someone. And I think this is the fifth time I've said it. Kronkowski is offsides. And I think this pass is going to be the final one. Hendry trying to find Millwall's able to take it off of them. Is there one more? No, Hendry gets it right back. And there it is, the final whistle. Rova 1, Montreal United 0.
Well, it wasn't quite as prolific in terms of scoring goals, but still a very fascinating tactical battle, and Rova coming out victorious. Montreal never an easy out, but Rova doing well to neutralize their strengths, and they came away with a solid 1-0 victory.
Most definitely. It was quiet stuff, I think, from the Montreal United's offense. An interesting formation, and Rova finding an absolute banger, a screamer from Hendry, unable to just see it out. And that's really what you need in a captain. Just scores an absolute banger and has the mental fortitude to keep a clean sheet on top of that. Schwartz are doing fantastic.
And it's like I said at the start, Rova, potentially really strong potential title contenders as we look again at the results from the day. The one that really stuck out to me was that Capstad showdown. Could be a preview of the title bout to come, but for the moment, it's Masks who find themselves on top of the league by virtue of goal difference.
It's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of this league plays out. As you can see, no ties. It's just a straight split between the winners and the losers. We'll see how it progresses for the rest of the season.
One thing's for sure, it is going to be an exciting ride, and I can't wait to see the rest of it.
All right. And then I guess with that, signing off, Max and
Metafiction.